Ma'am, don't do that. Don't you dare. Don't do it. Don't do it, ma'am. We might not get anybody because it's early. Hello, Martin. How are you? Destiny, how are you? Hello. I'm sorry this is early. I think Little Raindrop and the sun are coming up later today, so I thought I would knock this out of the way early. Mountain Mama, Dane, hello, hi. And then we'll see how long Miss Chaos lasts. She's underneath my feet. Trev, how are you? You came in as soon as you saw the notification. Destiny, that's awesome. I appreciate that. For some reason, I can't get notifications. My notifications are turned on through my phone and through YouTube, and it still doesn't work, and I don't understand. Hello, Wayne. You're excited about this one. Me too. It's another, I'm just gonna do the one today. I'm not gonna do the little articles today. I really need to start, like I was saying before, focus on trying to do one large episode or maybe 2 episodes. Patel Fools is at work. So I'm really trying to get my life organized here. So partying tonight, quite possibly, we shall see. But with both of the kids coming up, I will let them make that decision. It is technically a school night for most of America, so we'll see how that works. But if they want to go live, that's fine, but typically I would just prefer to hang out with them. The only time I go live with them here is if they ask. So Destiny, yay! I still need to go get propane for the heaters, so I do need to do that. And I drove the Jeep today, and so far the Jeep is holding up, so that's good. It's not overheating, even though it still needs a thermostat, so hopefully it's the thermostat and not something else, but it is working out. I'm not going to school tomorrow, I refuse. Hello, Kurt. Hello, Speedy, how are you? Yeah, so I know it's a week, it's a school night for many, being that it is a Monday, but oh, thank you, Destiny, I appreciate that. So like I said, we'll see. My son's going through it, so he needs to, I'll come in at 2 a.m. before I start my shift if you guys are still on. Carolyn, I'm hoping I'm not on that late. And I don't want to interfere with anyone else's lives, of course. I didn't know if Wyatt was going to try to go live later, so. And again, if I decide to go on later, I didn't want to. By the way, can I tell you a fun fact? If you're old, like myself, you know one of the first places that you start to pee that show your age is in your hands, right? So, I don't know, maybe I've said this before. There is this fantastic chick on TikTok, which I know a lot of people do not do TikTok, but her name is Nina Poole, and she recommends all these different, it's always a good time in your lives. Thank you, Mountain Mom, I appreciate you. She recommends really low priced products for cheaper than the normal stuff. Hello, Tiff. So anyway, I found this at the $1.25 store, the 5-quarter store. It is retinol, and let me tell you, it is fantastic. Fantastic as hand lotion. You used to do TikTok. That's awesome. Anyway, I highly recommend it. It cost me a whole $1.25, and the last time I was at the $1.25 store, I bought 10 of these because It's amazing. Just a little heads up, this is what it looks like. If you look on Amazon, they're 20 bucks. And this is amazing. Just telling you. I put it sometimes on my neck, sometimes on the tops of my feet, but for the hands, it's fantastic. So anyway, a little bit of advice if you need it. If you don't, it's still great hand cream. Tiff, the retinol, not the expensive retinol. Go to your 5-quarter store. Buy some of this if you can find it. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it's retinol. That's all it is. It's great, great. I use Cornhuskers lotion and it's the best. Really? Hello, Paul. I've never used that, Wayne. Never have I ever. Retinol, not to be confused with the rhyming word of fentanyl. Yeah, I don't think you can get that at the 5-quarter store, but I could be wrong. Ma'am, Miss Ma'am. No, I just put lotion on my hands. Stop. Please get down. Please get down. Please get down. I gave her a bath today. She was a smelly dog. She's not a fan of baths, I'll tell you this. I use sandpaper. All right, so we're like 6.5 minutes in. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get through this without her going crazy. So this one was actually recommended by Mr. Rafferty. And this story for you today is the Craigslist serial killers. So if you ever do any investigating or look up Craigslist killers, just as a heads up, there are several. I didn't know if you knew that, but there are more than just the one that I'm doing today. But I assumed the one that I'm doing today is the one he was suggesting because it is in Ohio. So that is where this one kind of sort of takes place. So it is going to be several pages. I will do my best to stick with it. I'm not on a time crunch, but I would like to get it done in an hour or less. So hello, Nacho. All right. Oh, send. Why do you have such a crazy I mean, that's a very creative username. I am going to tell you that. Very creative. I will give you that for creativity, but appropriateness, not so much. We're adults here, so I'm just going to let it slide since you said sup, and I'm going to say, hey, how are you? So anyway, Craigslist serial killers. If you're new here, Nacho Daddy 85 and Little Nacho Daddy regular. Hi, hey. If you're new here, typically, I mean, ideally, in a perfect world, I would only speak about crime, but we know that's not what my channel is all about. Total tech. I have a Craigslist story. Oh, don't we all? So I do speak about unaliving. There could be some things in which could be traumatizing. This one specifically does not have to do about children, so there is a plus there. But if you have any triggers or trauma that maybe you're trying to get through and you haven't gotten through that yet, this could be something difficult to listen to. So just as a heads up, I'm trying to give you a little bit of a trigger warning before I start. Wyatt, you gonna go live tonight? Since you weren't live yet, I thought I would get this out of the way. But I know you had some fun last night, so I'm already traumatized. It's okay. IOC! Andrew, how are you? Hello, Malcolm. Guy's looking for him. Some guy. Ooh. Total, do you mind telling me what state is that? If you don't mind me asking. Destiny, welcome back. Andrew, I just want to tell you, I popped in and out of your 8-hour live, my friend. And I just want to tell you, you are an amazing, amazing individual. And I truly mean that. The things that you have to say are, man, it really gets to the soul. So I just want to tell you, I do appreciate you. And I appreciate everything that you were speaking of. And when I say I have a lot to learn from you, I really mean that. because there are many days that I struggle with being slow to speak. And so I just want to say thank you. I am a work in progress. I might not be perfect today, but I will try better tomorrow. So just know that I truly, truly, truly do appreciate you and your knowledge and everything you had to offer yesterday. So there's a lot of news about it. So, ma'am, please get down. Absolutely, Andrew. You cannot jump on me. So total, real quick before I start this up, is this something that was recent? Perla, hello, how are you? Or is this something that happened in the past? I'm just curious. Give me a moment. I'm going to, Chaos and I are going to take a little trip for just a moment, so hold on. Come on, ma'am, let's go. Come on. Come on, pretty girl. Okay, hello. Where is she gone? She had to take care of her dog. All right, so back to it. Hold on real quick. I wanted to see if tech told me anything. They went and left the trucks. Took him to a farm, bad stuff happened. Tech, this may be exactly what we're talking about, but I don't know anything about lighting the truck on fire. Anyone want to buy this fan I have on Craigslist? Hello, Jack. Country, hello. Hello to all the new people. Tim Bosma. Okay, so totally different story. Anyway, lots of Craigslist horror stories. So I'm gonna get this started. Again, we are 13 minutes in. So this is the Craigslist serial killers. And the person, well, there's two of them, but Richard Beasley posted job postings for a farm manager position on 688 acres and murdered suitors as they arrived on site. At the click of a trigger, metal on metal, Scott Davis spun in terror and stared down the barrel of a .38 revolver aimed by a devil. Misfire. Recoiling like a blind man before flames, Davis jerked his arm upward as the second pull of the trigger slammed a bullet into his elbow. Surrounded by the isolation of wooded hills, he bolted away from the gunman, away from the dream of a 688-acre farm, and away from a freshly dug grave. Devil on his heels, Davis heard the report of 4 more shots as he crashed through the undergrowth and disappeared into orange-hued foliage. 7 hours later, he emerged in the darkness as the sole survivor of Richard Beasley's, a serial killer who dangled the ultimate killing bait, a fake farm. By Craigslist convenience, Beasley posted job openings for a manager position at a remote operation and murdered suitors as they arrived on site. Jeremiah, I think I saw you. Hello. All right. The end game was a ride into the southeastern Ohio countryside, a bullet to the brain, and a reposting of the irresistible online agricultural advertisement. was this. Simply watch over a 688-acre patch of hilly farmland and feed a few cows. You get $300 a week and a nice 2-bedroom trailer. Someone older and single preferred, but will consider all. Relocation a must. You must have a clean record and be trustworthy. This is a permanent position. The farm is used mainly as a hunting preserve, is overrun with game, and has a stocked 3-acre pond. But some beef cattle will be kept. Nearest neighbor is a mile away. The place is secluded and beautiful. It will be a real getaway for the right person. Job of a lifetime. If you are ready to relocate, please contact ASAP. Position will not stay open long. Include your name, age, phone number in your email, please. The unsuspecting applicants, over 100 hopefuls, lined up for the job. Bees to poisoned honey on a body farm. It's always Ohio if it's not Florida. Yes, it is. All right. In 2011, silver-bearded, big-boned, and cowboy-booted Beasley, 52, charmed the town of Akron, Ohio, masquerading as a wolf in sheep's clothing. Tall and wide, hair pulled back in a balding braid, quick with a hearty laugh, and generous with a pocket full of candy or helping hand, he cast himself as a man of the people. Beasley's past was cratered by scrapes with the law. Born in 1959 and raised in Akron, he spent spells as a machinist and trucker, staggered by stints behind bars. Convicted in Texas in 1985 for multiple counts of burglary, Beasley received 40 years, but was out in 4. In 1998, convicted for a firearms violation, he was thrown back in a Texas pen and paroled in 2004. He bounced home to Ohio as Chaplain Rich, reformed and regretful, ready with a Bible verse and roaring to lead Akron's less fortunate to the Lord. And what better way for the self-ordained Beasley to begin ministry? By a whorehouse. And yes, I said that right. Not a warehouse, a whorehouse. Hold on, I need the fan. I'm getting nervous over here. All right. In 2005, a vehicular collision left Beasley with back injuries and a cash settlement. He took the accident payout and bought a boarding house under the guise of helping recovering addicts, but instead packed the home with female junkies, serving as their pimp, buying the women's cell phones, driving them to John's, and posting online ads. Beasley helped the homeless, fed the hungry at food pantries, advocated for the indigent at the Summit County Courthouse, and attended a local megachurch, all while maintaining side hustles in drugs and prostitution. Eye out for the vulnerable. Beasley's kindness extended to Akron's youth. He took 10-year-old Brogan Rafferty, neglected by a distant father and drug-addicted mother, under his wing, accompanying the boy to church every week, rain or shine. By 2011, raw-boned Rafferty, a 16-year-old high school junior, had exploded in growth, hitting the scales at 230 pounds and reaching 6'5", with notches yet to climb. Beasley and Rafferty became an inseparable pair, often rumbling around Akron in Rafferty's 1998 white Buick LeSabre. LeSabre? Yes. We had one of those. LeSabre. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm like, la. On the outside, they were picture perfect. Sunday regulars. On the inside, hearts dark enough to bleed black. They were a pure evil pair. They targeted innocent victims looking for a better life on a farm and shot them in the head. If this was made into a movie, it'd be such a wild script, and I don't think anyone would believe it was reality. In 2010, Beasley's hypocrisy came to a boil when he was arrested in Akron on drug trafficking and aggravated menace charges. Slated for trial on September 6th, 2011, he went on trolling the streets for a new identity, a doppelganger. In early August 2011, a mere month before trial, Beasley found his mark at the Haven of Rest, a homeless shelter in downtown Akron. Ralph Geiger, 56, once a construction maintenance business owner, was running on fumes. Beasley noted the similar build and age bracket of candidate Geiger. Single and on the margin, he'd hardly be missed. Coding his words in care and concern, Beasley extended a Judas handshake and an irresistible offer to Geiger. How would you like to tend cattle and cut the hay on 688 acres? Raised on a farm in childhood, Geiger pounced on Beasley's proposition and waved adios to Haven of Rest, telling staff he was bound for a livestock operation in southern Ohio. On August 8th, Beasley, Rafferty, and Geiger drove to southeast Ohio's Noble County and checked in at the Best Western in Caldwell. The next day, the trio set out for the bogus farm, passing isolated houses and countryside, draped in leaves yet to turn, finally leaving blacktop for the church of gravel on Don Warner Road. Beyond the reach of a cell signal, Rafferty pulled off gravel and parked in weeds. The trio exited the vehicles as Beasley uncertainly went over to the precise location of his farm's entrance. Warning of coyote danger, Beasley loaded a .38 pistol and walked point. Geiger, entirely unaware, at his flank, into a heavily wooded holler to search for the farm gate. No farm, no gate. Blaming an error in navigation, Beasley pivoted on the path back towards the car. As Geiger turned in tandem, Beasley raised his pistol and fired a bullet into the back of Geiger's skull. On cue, retrieving a shovel from the vehicle, Rafferty began digging. 4 feet of dirt later, Beasley removed Geiger's clothes, and Rafferty dragged the naked corpse into the hole, dumping in a bag of lime for insurance. Geiger's murder went down without a hitch, popped, dropped, and disappeared. At Trigger's pull, Beasley had a new identity, driver's license, checking account, and means to obtain pill scripts or medical treatment. The initial motive in Geiger's murder was stolen identity, but maybe the killing went too well. Beasley was a true psychopath, in action and manipulation. There was far more going on than just theft. He felt power and thrill. As for 16-year-old Rafferty, 7 days after the murder, he penned a poem, because I can't do it. Midnight Shift, later found by investigators on his desktop computer. Commemorative. I said it really loud, really lowly. My gosh, what is wrong with me? I dug the hole. We put him in with difficulty. They call them stiffs for a reason. He showered him with lime like a satanic baptism. Excuse me. Apparently I need a drink or something. I don't know. And not that kind of drink. I'm drinking coffee. Don't judge me. I'm just so nervous. All right. I dug the hole we put him in with difficulty. They call them stiffs for a reason. We showered him with lime like a satanic baptism. It was like we were excommunicating him from the world. We drove out of there, discarding evidence as we went. Felt terrible until I threw up in the gas station bathroom where I was supposed to throw away the bullets and shell. I emptied myself of my guilt with my dinner, but not for long. When I got home, took a shower hotter than hell itself, prayed like hell that night. Miss Rainey, you're doing great. I appreciate you, Wayne. I'm stumbling over my words. Beasley wrestled with the practical question, how many bodies could the holler hold? The fantasy farm outside Caldwell was Beasley's ticket to rob and kill, or just kill. Robbery was a bonus. There was no farm. Yes, there was physical land in the hills that was split between a coal company and private ownership, but Beasley didn't own the acreage, and he had zero experience in farming or farm management. He had visited the rural area in Noble County, but that was the extent of his knowledge. Beasley understood the mere hint of a genuine farm drew heavy interest. Build a rickety facade and they will come. Via the comfort of a laptop, Beasley posted a job opening on Craigslist. Simply watch over a 688-acre patch of hilly farmland and feed a few cows. Within days, his email box pinged with dozens of prospects under the illusion of genuine agriculture employment. However, able-bodied and physically fit need not apply. Likewise, genuine farmers need not apply. Instead, Beasley was looking for vulnerable, single, white male, middle-aged, unemployed, and unattached candidates. I know somebody. Onto the property. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Easy prey. Like a glutton seated before Sunday dinner, Beasley pored over the Craigslist responses, replied to promising prospects, and set up in-person interviews at local food courts or burger joints. Presenting contenders with a typed application, he portrayed himself as a non-farming landowner from Akron in need of a manager/caretaker, stressing the remote location of his operation and lack of cell service. He paid particular attention to the physique of the applicants, rejecting those who might be a physical handful. By early October, the vetting process was a turkey shot. According to court filings, Daniel DeWalt applied by email to be the caretaker of a cattle farm in Caldwell, Ohio, a job he had found advertised on Craigslist. DeWalt agreed to meet a man named Jack Gaylord at the Chapel City Mall food court in Akron. A few days later, Jack offered DeWalt the job. DeWalt packed his belongings into a U-Haul trailer in preparation for the move. DeWalt told Jack that he was bringing his pistol. Jack initially said that was okay, but then changed his mind, saying, "I'm the only one with a gun." DeWalt also told Jack that he had been unable to find the alleged property on the county auditor's website, indicating this ain't adding up. On October 15th, 2011, DeWalt received an email from Jack Gaylord withdrawing the job offer. Girl, pull it together. George Brown, semi-retired from the concrete business, wanted a job to supplement his income. On October 7th, he answered a Craigslist ad for a job taking care of cattle in southern Ohio. The ad promised a trailer to live in, a credit card, and $300 to $400 a month. Brown arranged to meet Jack at the Chapel Hill Mall food court. The interview was going well until Brown mentioned his lifelong involvement in martial arts, at which point Jack kind of sat back in his chair. Brown also informed Jack that for a while he had worked as a security officer. Jack pulled back Brown's application and abruptly ended the interview. Brown never heard from Jack about the job again. Just wanted to say hi and give you a thumbs up. Awesome. I appreciate you, Mike. Dave LeBlond was looking for work. He responded to a listing on Craigslist for a job as a farmhand on a 300-acre farm. A man who identified himself as Richard Bogner, interviewed LeBlond at the Chapel Hill Mall. During the interview, LeBlond told Bogner, why do I keep saying that? He had a fiancée. He was never contacted again about the job. The loss of DeWalt, Brown, and LeBlond was no consequence to Beasley. Plenty of other fish in the sea. Is Mike in here? Mike Miller. Okay. On October 22nd, loading boxes filled with Christmas lights, scrapbooks, model trains, and NASCAR mementos into a U-Haul pulled by a blue Dodge pickup in North Fork, Virginia. David Polly was stoked and Ohio bound. Weeks earlier, he stumbled onto Beasley's online listing and replied, I'm 51 years young, single male. I love the outdoors. I currently live in Virginia. I have visited Ohio and I really love the state. Being out there by myself would not bother me as I like to be alone. I own my own pickup truck, so hauling would not be a problem. I can fix almost anything. Have my own carpentry tools, and if chosen, I will work hard to take care of your place and treat it like my own. Thanks, Wayne. Bingo. Unemployed, divorced, and with plenty of personal items in tow, Polly got the job. Scheduled to meet his new farm boss, Jack Gaylord, aka Beasley, roughly 30 miles south of Caldwell at the Bob Evans restaurant in Marietta the next day. Polly believed he had just won the lottery. On a bright Sunday morning, October 23rd, anticipating a new hire and a trailer of booty. That means good and loot, guys, like a pirate's booty, not the actual booty. Beasley was busy with preparation. Details, logistics, murder by numbers. Hours before Polly's arrival, Beasley and Rafferty bought shiny shovels off the shelf at Kmart and drove to the farm, where Rafferty set to digging a hole roughly 50 feet from Geiger's grave. Task completed. Beasley pulled the $20 from his wallet and slid the bill's edge beneath an adjacent rock. It was the cost of insurance. On the return trip with Polly, if the $20 remained in place, the place was secure. The meet and greet at Bob Evans between Polly, Jack Gaylord, and his nephew, Rafferty, went down like clockwork. Afterwards, the trio piled into Rafferty's Buick, coasted down the highway, and eased onto Don Warner's road for a first look at the non-existent farm, trailer, pastures, outbuildings, cattle, and pond. Marching into the woods just beyond the sightline of another waiting hole, Beasley shot one round into the rear of Polly's head. A 32 or 38 caliber. Absolute determination was never concluded by a forensic arm expert. Beasley stripped Polly almost nude, save a black leather bracelet with a silver clasp, and Rafferty buried the corpse. Later the same day, Beasley bragged of good fortune, telling friends about a windfall he had made on a storage locker bid, garage sale items, and flea market. Brazenly, Beasley returned the U-Haul trailer to the Akron dealer and sold the Dodge for $1,000. Hello, Phoenix. Murder was getting easier. Time to check for more replies to the evergreen Craigslist ad. Drop me off where we got that deer last week, Beasley muttered, slouched in the white LeSabre. Yes, LeSabre. Passenger seat. Scott Davis riding in the back was the next deer in the crosshairs. On October 9th, Davis, a 46-year-old landscaper raised in Ohio but living in South Carolina, bit the Craigslist bite, hoping to return home and take care of his ailing mother. Davis received a reply on October 17th from Jack Gaylord, requesting Davis send a driver's license image for a background check and inquiring about a possession of a truck, electronics, and tools. Answering, Davis also mentioned ownership of a Harley-Davidson Dyna lowrider. Beasley salivated over the motorcycle, telling Davis the surrounding area was ideal for bike rides and promising adequate storage space in a barn on the farm. Anticipating a trove of incoming loot, Beasley gave Davis the job, lock, stock, and smoking barrel. Hello, Sassy. How are you? Davis hooked a trailer to the Dodge Ram 3500, packed up gear, stereo equipment, tools, and Harley, and hit the 500-mile road to Ohio. Beasley bucked like a green horse, excited by the pending acquisition of another storage locker find, this one packed to the gills with high-dollar items. Par for the course of past murders, Beasley and Rafferty arranged to meet Davis on November 6th at the Shoney's restaurant in Marietta. The three men ate a festive breakfast, left Davis's truck and trailer parked in nearby Caldwell, and climbed into Rafferty's sedan for a 15-minute scenic drive to the farm and a 2.5-foot deep hole, roughly 50 feet from Polly and 80 feet from Geiger. The graves were getting shallower. On Don Warner Road, Beasley floated the deer comment, and Rafferty pulled over so Beasley could walk into the woods and retrieve several pieces of small equipment needed for a repair on the property. Eager to oblige, Davis exited the vehicle and followed Beasley beneath the canopy, denser and deeper. Approximately 20 feet from Davis's awaiting grave. Beasley was confused and pivoted toward the vehicle. "Forget this, let's turn around and take the roadway." Davis reversed course. Now walking lead, Beasley pulled a .32 pistol and squeezed. However, the gun didn't fire. No report, no bullet to the head, only a metallic click and a telltale utterance from Beasley. "Fuck." Excuse me, sorry. There was no expression on his face, Davis described. His eyes were just as black as coal. There was nothing there, period. I was supposed to be the next deer. Beasley squeezed 5 more times, hitting Davis once in the elbow as he ran into the woods, crashed through a creek, and scrambled into cover. Lumbering back into the Buick, Beasley described the escape and ordered Rafferty to run over Davis if he spotted him near the road. Back in the timber, Davis ran to the point of collapse, adrenaline crashing, blood loss mounting, body temperature plummeting, arm dangling, fading, and he knew Beasley was in proximity. I could hear footsteps, crunching. I figured someone was going to come over the hill and shoot me. I prayed to the Lord, whatever it was, it walked away, and I heard it walk out the same way it came in. The Lord answered my prayers on that one, I'll tell you. As the footsteps grew fainter, Davis felt the primal pull to make a last run, leave or die. Emerging after 7 hours in darkness at 7 p.m., having covered 7 miles, he stumbled out of the woods, pale and shaking. Finally, I ran into a farmhouse. I'm looking around the driveway, and there's 3 bows for hunting. Maybe a small town, maybe everyone's in cahoots. I knocked on the door. Davis's fortune turned. The homeowner picked up the phone and dialed 911. "We just had a gentleman come up to our front door. He claims he's been shot." Sheriff Stephen Hunnam of Noble County arrived to find a white middle-aged man with a gunshot wound to the arm and a bizarre story about a farm and an advertisement on Craigslist. For good reason, Hunnam harbored serious doubts about the story Davis claims and suspected a drug deal gone sideways. There was no 688-acre farm off Don Warner Road. There was no Jack Gaylord and a giant-sized nephew terrorizing the community in a sedan. In that moment, there was no proof beyond Davis's existence. However, he clung to his story, repeating the outrageous narrative, and once back in town, pulled off the dash of his truck. Davis gave deputies hard evidence, all the emails with Preacher Jack. As for Beasley, he was already back in Akron, hunched over a computer, pecking the keyboard, because farm business was booming. The cruelest cut came last. On November 9th, a mere 72 hours after he tried to kill Davis, Beasley walked into a Waffle House to interview a prospective farm manager candidate. Divorced and unemployed, Timothy Kern, 47, of Massillon, Ohio, was on the bottom rung of his life's ladder, living in his car or sometimes at a buddy's house. His material possessions mounted to a rickety 1995 Buick, a laptop, and a television. Barely enough swag to tickle Beasley's interest. But considering a Harley Davidson had just slipped through his fingers, Beasley was anxious to set the hook. Kern got the job. 4 days later, in the pre-dawn darkness of November 13th, Beasley and Rafferty pulled into a parking lot outside of Canton, Ohio, where Kern waited with his meager belongings. Several garbage bags stuffed with clothes and cassette tapes jammed into the groaning 95 Buick, a vehicle incapable of accelerating beyond 30 to 40 miles an hour. Beasley was appalled. Slim pickings had turned to bare bones. Kern had given the laptop and flat screen as parting gifts to relatives and was down to his last $5 bill. Simply, there was nothing to steal. But Kern's presence wasn't a complete loss for Beasley. He could still kill for the kicks. there's a person called Robbo Rafferty. Leaving Kern's Buick in the parking lot, the threesome departed in Rafferty's car for an hour-plus trip to the farm, when Beasley threw Kern a curveball. Hey man, we were hunting squirrels out by the old Rolling Acres Mall the other day. And you know what? I lost my watch. It's got a lot of sentimental value. Do you mind if we go over to the woods and I look for it real quick before we head down to the farm? A change of direction to look for a watch with daylight yet to crack, and a squirrel hunt inside behind a mall. In truth, Beasley and Rafferty had gone behind Rolling Acres Mall the day before, where Rafferty had dug a hole barely 2 feet deep. Beasley chose the narrow strip of woods at the mall's rear as the kill zone to avoid presumed law enforcement presence around his fantasy farm. Essentially, he needed a temporary change of murder location until the heat died down. Rafferty pulled around the back of Rolling Acres, and the men filed into the shrub, searching for the precious watch. Slipping behind Kern, either Beasley or Rafferty raised an Ivor Johnson .22 semi-automatic pistol, which, by the way, a minimum of 3 guns were used in the 4 killings, or the 4 attacks, and pumped Kern with 5 rounds, 4 to the back of the head and 1 to the face. After murdering Kern, Beasley and Rafferty drove away to eat breakfast at McDonald's. Spurred by Scott Davis, the one that got away, law enforcement followed Beasley's digital forensic trail and arrested him on November 16th at a home in Akron where he rented a room. The same day, Rafferty was pulled from class at Stowe Monroe Falls High School and questioned by investigators in the principal's office. He was arrested at home that evening. Detectives later found the Ivor Johnson .22 in his bedroom. From the get-go of arrest to trial and sentencing, Beasley donned his Chaplin-rich identity and denied all charges. He wrote to the Beacon Journal proclaiming innocence. To call me a con man when I sacrifice for others is wrong. To turn their back on me is not following Christ's example. I give 3 full years of my life to that ministry, and what I got out of it was just the satisfaction of doing the right thing. I gave away almost all I had and got almost nothing in return. That is not the actions of a con man. In separate trials, 2012 and 2013, both men were found guilty. They murdered 3 men who merely sought honest work on a farm: Ralph Geiger, David Pauly, and Timothy Kern. Rafferty, Mike, nice to see you in here. I see you. Hello, hi, how are you? Got life with no chance of parole. Beasley was sentenced to death. Remorseless, shameless, unrepentant, and defiant at sentencing, Beasley glared at the court, bathing in his own lies at the end. I state here today officially for the record, I have killed nobody, and that's a fact. The farm killings may not have been Beasley's first rodeo, Summit County prosecutor says. There were some suspicions of other murder victims that had not been discovered, especially with the police believing he was heavily involved in a prostitution ring. Law enforcement never found evidence to support their suspicions, though it remains to this day. The only big question I have is who pulled the trigger to kill Timothy, Richard, or Brogan Rafferty. The gun was found in Rafferty's bedroom, and he later described that particular murder in extreme detail. It was also the only killing with more than 1 shot fired. The jury at Rafferty's trial felt he had pulled the trigger. At a tally of 4 victims in just over 3 months, they believed that Beasley and Rafferty's farm murders were only just the beginning. They would have kept on until they got caught, and they wouldn't have stopped for a long while. Beasley would have varied this scheme, and he was never going to let go of the farm aspect. He was still putting up online advertisements when he was finally caught. Indeed, Beasley was eagerly planting more seeds on Craigslist. He was ready to grow the farm. Bam. Mike, that one was for you. Mike, I'm assuming no relation, right? That, my lovelies, is a weird man by the name of Beasley, who decided to pretend he had a farm and lure men so he could shoot them for no good reason. Oh, thank you, Perla. Okay, give me a second. Hold on. My dog's upset with me, so please bear with me. Oh, please. Okay, I'm back. Hi, hello. So that, friends, is the story of the Craigslist killer. Must have had chaos in the kennel. I did put her in the kennel. I sure did. And now I put her outside because she has to use the restroom. I gave her some treats and some toys. Don't act like I neglect her. Fabulous job. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate you. So I still have a long list of people to go down. So I got to figure out how I want to do this, but I need to get with it. I need to get some organization in my life. Oh, really? Thank you, Mike. But she's my baby. Yeah. She's a good dog. You know what's really funny is she knows when I put her harness on to either go for a walk or it's like she knows if she's going for a walk or if she's going for a car ride, because she does not like the car ride, and I'm not really sure why. She sits in the front seat with me, so I'm not understanding, but it's like she knows I have to just like pick her up and take her outside, because she's like, nope, I don't want to get in the vehicle with you, Mom. Once she's in, she's fine. She just doesn't want to do it. I think it's because she's short. She can't see out the window quite yet. Typically, she'll just lay down in the seat, which is so silly. But today, when we went for a car ride, she sat up a little bit. She's learning. But anyhow, I appreciate all of you that came in here to see me, to hear me read a story. Thank you very much. Okay, Carolyn, I'm just gonna write them all down. I was mentioning earlier that a little raindrop and my son, I think ideally, are gonna be coming up. Am I gonna look up that one or not? I got a story for you, the Axe Murder House. Oh, Phoenix, thank you. I will absolutely look it up. And they may be coming up, and I don't know if they want to do live later, but I leave that choice up to them. And I know it's a Monday. Everyone has to work tomorrow. I have to work tomorrow. But neither of them do, so it must be nice. But I don't know if they want to do some shop time, sing songs, do the shenanigans. Montgomery. That poor little girl suffered. Oh, no. Kitty claw. Subi, you didn't feel that earthquake that just happened a little bit ago, did you? Are you still in Cali, or are you back in Nevada? I saw we got like a 10. Can you imagine a 10-point something earthquake? A 5-point something earthquake over there. That's good to hear. It was a good story. Well read. Thank you. Thank you. If you guys don't mind, give me just another moment. I gotta go get the dog again because she's outside. Hold on. She knows every time she goes outside, I give her a treat. You have to sit. Okay, thank you. Anyway, a Dutch apple pie. Dutch apple pies are my favorite. I love apple pie. A 7.8. Cheeseburger. I thought it was like a 5.1, possibly. Shoot, I can't even remember now. I'm on my phone that gave me the notification, but so. Will you cover the Idaho 4? Perla, I can, but I know that's already all over the news. If you were to do a Google search of Idaho murders, just as a general search, that is the only thing that comes up for pages and pages and pages and pages. I know that his attorney recently just tried to take the death penalty off the table, and the judge said no. So I could, but I think, I don't know, I could. I'm gonna write it on the list. That was crazy. That was really crazy here, and especially because Boise is another college town. So it happened in Moscow, Idaho, which I think is like 4 or 5 hours from Boise. Maybe it's longer. Excuse me for that. But the other university in Idaho is BSU, so Boise State. And yeah, it was pretty scary. And pretty scary because I knew people, younger people, because of course I work the bar up here, that had mentioned they knew exactly where that house was at. They went to Idaho State University, and that was always a party house. So yeah, during the court proceeding. Ooh. Private JJ reporting for duty. JJ, you're late. You're so late. What hair dye does your daughter use? Oh, I will tell you, I don't know the name off the top of my head. I purchased it for her a few times, but she typically doesn't dye her hair, like all of her hair, just because when she was younger, she really wanted to dye it, and she's got these natural highlights, and I was just like, your hair's so beautiful. Remind me of a Barbie doll. You know the Barbie doll when it's got like blonde hair and it glistens in the sun? It's like this beautiful, anyway, her hair's always been fantastic. So she only does like a strip underneath, but typically it's almost like she does it like this color, which is pretty cool on her hair. But I can't tell you the name brand off the top of my head. If she's here, then I will tell her. Red, how are you? I hope you had the bestest day of work ever. So, Red, the youngins might be coming up today. 52 minutes and 52 likes. Woo! That's awesome. Sorry, gotta go thread my face. Perla, I appreciate you. One of these days I gotta learn how to do that because I have no idea how to do that. Send me a superstition. Mountains. What? About 15 minutes away from me. What are you talking about? Cheeseburger, what are you saying? We're gonna go hunt for gold? Right, Jeremiah? Everyone's excited. They're like, fools, when are you coming home? I don't know. What are you guys all gonna do when he's not drinking? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna drink either because it's teamwork, right? So I will absolutely jump on that bandwagon with him. But Lost Dutchman gold, where is that at, Cheeseburger? So what are you guys gonna do with sober fools? Where's the Lost Dutchman at? Like what state? I'm sober as shit. Ariel, I'm very proud of you. And you know what? All good things come from that. So, oh, in Arizona. Okay. Yeah, so I can fall in one of those abandoned mines. Yeah, Cheeseburger, I know what your goal is. You think I talk about crime for fun? I see what the plan is. I'm literally maybe 15 minutes away. Well, what's stopping you? Rainy studies murders. You think if you found something, you'd be great. Well, you know, there's so many. I wonder if that's the one where a lot of people go and they go on a treasure hunt. I feel like that's the same one. They go on a treasure hunt and some of them don't come back. And they believe it's because they're falling in these abandoned mines. And because there's so many mine shafts out there that... Can you poke what, Rainy? Smot? What? I don't know where to start. A cheeseburger, if I'm correct, I have a whole book on it. Leaving a jelly bean trail seems like a bad idea. Here's what I would suggest. I would suggest telling a friend. If you have the little tracking thing on your phone or your watch, if you have a fancy watch, do the tracking trail thing. Don't get off the roads, people. There really are. There's abandoned mines that people have fallen into. You guys heard that one story? I actually just heard it on the podcast. I can't recall where he was, but this young guy, I think he was in high school, maybe college, let's just say, he ended up leaving a party. He had a few drinks, so he went the long route and he got lost. Or his car broke down or something. Anyway, he pulls off the side of the road. He's on the phone with his parents because he's like, hey, I don't know where I am. Can you come and get me? He's talking to them the whole way. He's looking in the distance. He says he sees the city lights. He keeps going like an AirPod. Exactly. Cheeseburger, yes, like an AirPod. And yeah, it's toxic gases. Yeah, there's that too. And he's talking to his dad on the phone. He's telling his dad, this is where I am. His parents are near the area. They can't see him. They're telling him to like wave your phone so we can see you. He starts like yelling. They're yelling for him. Well, then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit. And the phone dies. Everything goes nothing. They never found him. Never found him. They did not find any of his clothes. They did not find his glasses. They didn't find his shoes. They didn't find anything. It was literally like he was just picked up and he just disappeared. People used to try to escape and they said they would run through the woods and fall in the Minecraft. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you're talking about old water wells and stuck at first in Minecraft. Toxic gases. That's Riley. Riley, is that the one, the boy that was missing? Carolyn, is that what? I literally just finished that podcast this morning. If you guys don't listen to podcasts, you should. I listen to Going West. Fantastic podcast. I think I'm finally on episode 400 and something. Man, I don't know what you're doing, but here. Here. Chew on your toy. I should try to look for it. Are you a writer? I am not a writer. Maybe one day I shall write stories and write books. But for now, I'm just a reader. I'm just a reader. Good puppy. Yeah, she's good for now. I'm telling you, she listens to me. She knows better. She's doing much better about the accidents in the house. We're working on that. She goes out very often. Riley, he left Luke Bryan's bar. It's not the one that I'm just now talking about, right? Hold on. Let me ask the Google machine. Oh boy. Sorry, my computer just did an update. So, let's see. Don't recall the last name. That's okay. Hold on. Where's my Spotify? If I go to Going West, where's my podcast? Where's the podcast button in this thing? Here it is. Subi, how are you? I don't know what's the issue. What is going on? I'm sorry, Spotify has a totally different interface. Obviously, it's on a desktop as opposed to my phone. And okay, there we go. Oldest to newest, 422. Sort by all, 422. Oh, girl. I'm okay. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. 422. Good grief. The Google machine is awesome. Yes. Let me try the Google machine. 284. Like I said, I just listened to this one. Okay. Jan, Marlene, Harley, Dior. Well, shoot. Huh, never mind. Apparently. Man, please don't lick my knee, it's weird. And I have pants on, so that's even worse. From the yard of his father's house after heading out. Huh, I don't know. I don't know. Chaos, I don't know why she does that. She's so weird. So Chaos likes, like if I have my legs crossed, she likes to put her body over my leg and just be like, here I am. I'm touching your legs. Try to move me. She's fucking strange. She wants attention. I know, but she'll like go over my legs. And then she likes it like when I lift her up. Man. And she thinks it's fun, like it's a game. Riley. Rinfin. Hey, Rainy, get him, girl. Oh, I know, huh? Let's see. Luke Bryan. That's a different one, Carolyn, unless that's what you're telling me to look up. Oh, because it's 2024. Please move. Where's your toy? Here. Here. It's right here. Come get it. She's so cute. Yeah, she's different. She's got the whole entire room and she's like, let me be right on top of your feet. That's how she is. Anyway, you all are amazing and I love you. And I'm going to try to do more of these longer stories instead of just the crime events. I'll try to do the little crime events, pop them in here and there. But Carolyn, his name was Riley Strain. By the way, I'll put that on here. But anyhow, I appreciate all of you for coming in here. And if you see me go live later, it's because I have friends. Because, you know, I don't like to do it by myself. What's the best way to reach you? Via email? Yes, Cheeseburger. I have my email in my profile. It's just chaosandcriminals@gmail.com. Because ideally, that was supposed to be the crime channel. And maybe one day I will inject this stuff on that side, but I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know anything about anything. I'm new here. Ever heard of the Highway of Tears? Highway of Tears? Wilkie, I have not. Or maybe I have. So I do want to let you know a lot of cases I have heard, but because I've heard so many different ones, it's hard to keep track, right? Because I'm doing this for the first time in my life, I am learning how to try to be organized and how to get this under control. But Wilkie, I appreciate that. I will absolutely look into that. Donna, Oh, Donna, I love you. I appreciate you for coming in. Not the end of the world, dear. It was, we just did Craigslist serial killer. That's the one that I did. But if you feel like it, you can always watch it later. If not, totally understandable. But Donna, I may be on later with the kids, so. Thank you. Here in Canada, it's an unsolved spree of murders, over 30 women. Really? Wilkie, these aren't indigenous women, are they? Because I know there's a lot of crimes that go on with women in those areas. Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. And Subi, I will look. I'll be on the lookout for that. Mostly yes. Okay. Wilkie, I could have very well have heard it, but I will look into that as well. So I appreciate it. Big W for Rainy the Detective. I didn't do anything. I'm just a reader. Thank you, JJ. I appreciate you. But I appreciate you all, and hopefully I'll see you later. And if I don't, I understand. So you're amazing. I love you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye.